Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Okay, so we're in the countdown mode now as far as local council polls are concerned. The 22nd of July is the date set, and the chairman, retired Justice Phillips of Lagos State, who is the chairman of LASIEC, has said that it's full steam ahead. Everything is leading towards, the conclusion of the election successfully. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a number of worries. The chairman herself had noted that acrimony in the political space was a major issue. In fact, so much so that this morning, having had a meeting with not just the parties, but also the contestants and all of that, on Friday, all of which was towards making sure that everything went smoothly without a hitch. They are this morning, all parties are this morning, again report at LASIEC, to sign a memoranda of understanding that they will do their best to keep the peace so that there will be a hitch-free election. So the concerns of LASIEC chairman, we look at that among other issues, and also try and evaluate how well matters are proceeding with this election. Dr. Jide Johnson, as always, Deputy Provost NIJ, he's on the set. Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson.
It's nice to be with you on this wonderful Monday morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for coming on. So there we are. There are 2 court cases hanging over the head of LASIEC, even though the chairman has said that those suits will not, prevent it from doing what it needs to do. One, I think, is as a result of fees, so much so that National Conscience Party has refused to take forms, to take forms and apply. So it looks like it's not in the running. And there was another one, at the moment, it eludes me. The other main reason that they were taken to court. But
on the card reader.
On the card reader.
The use of card reader for the election.
Thank you very much. The use of card reader for election. Justice Ayatunde retired, Phillips has retired, has said that, well, if the court should rule that we have to use card readers, then we all have to go back to square one, which is what nobody wants that.
First and foremost, I'm sure a lot of the Gaussians want this election to hold come Saturday, July 22nd, because we want democratic governance at the local government level. With respect to judicial intervention, I think there's a need for us to address some salient issues as regards the use of court and the electoral process. And to my mind and to my knowledge, there's no way the court can stop election in the United States of America. Come first Tuesday in November every election year, there will be the presidential election. It does not foreclose people going to courts. You recall the last election, we heard that about 2,000 lawyers have been hired to challenge at various levels. So we must establish that for our democracy to survive. Because at any point in time, people will quickly approach the court to get an injunction to stop an election. Now that's disenfranchising the people. That's antithetical to democratic principle. If you have any issue with the electoral process, you don't truncate the electoral process. However, you can go to court to challenge the outcome of the process, not to stop the process.
That must be because the systems that we keep on talking about here are quite robust yonder. And so it leads to what you said, that you can't truncate. You might contest the outcome, but you can't truncate.
Now, one of the sad memories we have concerning democratic experience in Nigeria happened to do with Q12. It was truncated by a judgment by just one judge. Are you with me? So you see, the judiciary has a role to play. If you look at the conditionalities for a democratic society, for you to have free democracy, we talked about free press, we talked about enlightened citizens, we talk about what? Independent judiciary. Because the judiciary has a role to play. Not, for instance, if I'm a judge and a case is brought before me concerning an election, I can't come out with a judgment that says stop the election. Are you with me? Because if you stop the election, you are disenfranchising the people from from exercising their right to decide who leads them. You see, Lagos State, for instance, reformed the local government. It's only the state in the whole of the federation that has come up with a law that allows the local government to serve 4 years. The new law that will bring this local government that will serve 4 years in government, in order to allow the people to have a say in the government of their choice, of their own, of their preference. Now, that law has been put in place to ensure that there is continuity at the local government level. Because what we have across board, from Lagos to Sokoto to Benin, Edo State to Bayelsa, is sole administrator, unelected representative at the local government level. And that's one of the challenges we are having with our democratic experience, because the foundation of democratic governance starts from the local government.
Indeed.
Now, if the local government are managed by people that are not elected by the people, then what's the essence of having state government and having federal government?
When you look at the grievances, take Lagos, we're talking about the Lagos election,
Exactly.
22nd of July has been said to be sacrosanct, is going to happen. But within the ruling party, for instance, there are those that are not too comfortable with what we have. They are alleging, as always, a lack of internal democracy. And we were speaking off air, and you say, well, there's a unique, every party seems to have a unique kind of way of going about its own electoral processes.
Anybody that is in APC that is complaining about the process is not a member of APC in Lagos State. Because if you look at the history of APC as a party in Lagos State, right from Alliance Democracy to Action Congress of Nigeria, now to All People's Progressive Party Congress. Now, you will know the culture, you will know the history, you will know the antecedent, you will know their ways of doing things. You know, often I told you that. For instance, in United States of America, the Democrats have a system of super delegates, unelected delegates, close to about 3,000, that goes to their national convention. It is not in the Republican structure.
So there's a difference right there. The two of them are not the same.
And one of the things that actually helped Hillary to defeat Bill Sanders was because he enjoyed the support of the super delegates. Now, each party has its culture. Each party has its own structure. Now, the way APC is structured in Lagos State, the way it has been done, is the same process. So if anybody is complaining about that, is their own measure of internal democracy. Because every party, for instance, when we look at people, when you look at some democracies, even civilized democracies, do you know that they select candidates in America through the choice of mayoralty election? So every party has its own structure. If anybody should find himself in APC and is complaining about the process, I want to challenge the person to tell me what has been the process that the antecedent of APC in Lagos State since 1999 has been, in terms of picking. It has usually been a super delegate approach where the leaders or leaders from local government come together and they decide who goes, who gets what, and what.
Okay. Which is different from a one-man, one-vote kind of a scenario that opponents of the status quo would appear to be arguing. You recall that the Odiolowo issue, fracas in Mushin, is ongoing. It's even somehow involved the legal advisor of APC itself. You know, there were some matters of, you know, him suing to court. Quite frankly, I think things like that must be part of the acrimony that the chairman of LASIEC was talking about and advising that needs to be resolved. We had a situation where the legal advisor of the national legal advisor of APC has actually sued the chairman, although sort of with a caveat that, look, he's amenable to out-of-court settlement. It's just that he needs to clear his reputation. The allegation made that he was part of forces trying to truncate the whole exercise was false, and he needed to clear his name. So you see that there's a lot of confusion going on.
Then the question we ask, how did he become the National Legal Advisor of
There,
the party?
there you
Now,
go.
I've told you every party has its own. I'm not making excuse for the party. I'm not an advocate of what the party is doing. I'm only explaining
That's the way they are.
The way things are done. The way things are done within this party is different from the way things are done in this party. Now, if you find yourself in an environment and there's a culture, every organization, every institution has its own culture. There's a culture with which things are done amongst the progressive. Even right from the days of if you check the progressive ideology, the progressive ideology is always prepared by superdelegates. The leaders will gather and they will decide this is the person we are going for. And they will tell, okay, go and do this, go and do that, go and do that. You can check the antecedent of the progressive ideology, and that's the way it's done.
That's from the beginning, as you were saying.
Even since 1999, even from Awolowo down the line.
Okay. So you're saying that, well, this is the way they are.
The progressive ideology. This is the way the leaders gather, and I want viewers will contribute to this program later, but I want anybody to challenge me on that. The progressive ideology is based on super delegate. Look, I told you, Hillary wouldn't have won if she hadn't gotten the support of the super delegates. The establishment in the progressive ideology usually decide who gets what per time. It is the establishment. It is the leaders. That's the structure of the progressive ideology. It is the conservative ideology that says, you know what, we are going to vote. Everybody's coming out to vote.
So from what you're saying then, it seems that students of history, especially as it relates to these kind of things, will know that this is the way it is, and maybe the party will not be too amused at this challenge to what has been the way it's always been doing things. It's too late in the day. You remember, you never brought this up, but probably those that feel, well, shall I use the word disenfranchised, although it's difficult to use in the context of the explanation you give. Say, what do you mean disenfranchised? There is a way we organize our house. Very much as has been said before, it's a family affair. And people are saying that, well, this whole family affair vis-a-vis the whole question of democracy, how upright is that in a system where we say that...
What is even democracy? What is democracy? The total number of Nigerians that voted in the last election, presidential election, were not up to 32 million people. In a country of 170 million. You know, I tweeted something and I said, you know, democracy what? Is the government of the minority perpetuated by the stupidity and docility of the majority. Because
in other words,
who decides to become the president? The president of Nigeria today did not get more than 60 million votes. Is that a majority vote? So if you look at it deeper, if you look at it from a philosophical point of view, you will know that democracy is actually the government of the minority. It is the minority that actually comes out to vote that decides to become the president. The silent majority sit down at home, reading newspaper, or busy doing other things. So every party, to emphasize that, has its own way and its own culture of doing things. They have their own way and culture. Those that are aggrieved, I'm not from Adiolo, those that are aggrieved to today, if the system had favored, now, if the system had favored them, they won't complain.
In all probability.
They won't complain. If the system had favored them, they won't complain. Because there is a way, and I want to be challenged, there is a way in which the progressive in southwest Nigeria has done from the day of Baba Awolowo in terms of picking candidates.
And that is what is continuing. So if you started off by saying that, look, anybody who is complaining about the way things are run in the APC is not really a member of APC.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the culture. He doesn't understand the culture. He doesn't understand the history. He doesn't understand the tradition of that party. And if you are not comfortable with the culture, the tradition, all you need to do is to look for a platform that suits you. That suits you. I'll throw this to you. Which other party has a national leader? Which other party has a national leader?
Are you saying that is significant?
Yeah, it's significant. It tells you about the structure of the progressive ideology.
Yeah, okay. But even the national leader thing, it's not in the Constitution, is it?
Because it's the progressive culture.
Okay.
It's the progressive culture.
Yes.
It's not in the Constitution. For instance, six geopolitical zone is not in Nigerian Constitution. I want anybody to show it to me. It's not there. Is it there? It's not in 1999 Constitution, but it's a culture.
Okay.
It's part and parcel of what we do.
Even when we come to this, I understand what you mean. When you talk about national leader, you're probably talking about Asiwaju Tinubu.
Exactly.
But then the president, what is the president then? It's the culture of another party where remember, in the times of Jonathan as the president, in the times of Obasanjo as the president, they were leaders of their party. And therefore, some people are saying that, in this same sense too, you're saying, you'll be amiss.
In the progressive ideology, it's not like that.
Okay, let me take Mr. George so to see what his perspective on this is. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to Dr. Johnson.
It's a pleasure to have you, George.
Uncle Yori, when it comes to selection of candidates, I do not solely agree with the tenets of democracy there. Because if you look at Lagos State, for example, it's a peculiar state. I remember when Fashola was to come in.
Okay.
There were about 60 other people who were contesting for that. And when he was elected, a lot of protests came in that we thought he might not win the election. But when he came, we saw the other people who had said they wouldn't let him be, they became his supporters, and we saw what he did. The same thing happened in the case of Ambode. He was not wanted by the others. Well, the point I'm trying to make, Onguyore, is that many people that have the ability to govern, they don't have what it takes in our climb here to push through their nominations.
Okay.
That is why you see that many people that are in elected positions today, they are the wrong ones. The decent people, those who have what it takes to really push ideas and make things happen, they are too decent to be crude, to do things that we make them to come to the center, unless they have somebody like Tinubu, for example, who knows how to, doesn't look back, he looks at what you can offer. So when such cases are at play, I'm skeptical about talking about how many people can vote for him in the party, but when it comes to the general voting, let the public decide.
Okay.
This is the only way that credibility can be brought to play in governance.
Okay. And
at the national level now.
And those that are crying foul, for instance, tough luck.
Uncle Yori, there was the former speaker, about 2 weeks ago, they were interviewing him. He was one of those who was crying foul when Ambode was selected. You know what he said? He was praising Ambode, and he said, do you people now see how Ambode is performing? That he's going to get 2 terms. That they have named Ojodu Bega after Ambode is now called Ojodu Ambode. Text this was brought in. So there's need for us to be dynamic in this matter. You can't be fixated. Otherwise, the wrong people will continue to come in.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George.
You see,
yes.
George spoke about the peculiarities of Lagos and the structure of the party. If you look at who has been governor since 1999, you see the structure, the way it's done. That's, you see, because when people cry for one man, one vote, every party has its own structure of how things are done. In actual sense, for the progressive ideology, what is usually done, even before the picking of the candidate, they allow everybody to come out and they do the search party. And they do interviews with the leaders. Can this one represent that? Can this one represent the party? Can this one stand for the party? Would this be able to be the face of the party? Would this serve the interest of the people? And all of that are done in the selection process. And once that is done, the leaders say, okay, this one will represent our ideology and stands a better chance of being the face
Lovely.
of our
And
party.
so they're going to back that particular candidate and make sure that he wins. Which, as we were saying, for some reason, as you were explaining, if you're in APC, for instance, you got to know that these are the ground rules here. Someone's calling in from Ikorodu. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Peter in Ikorodu. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
Yes, sir. I'm always a fan of your program, and this morning I think it's my lucky day.
Okay, good to have you.
Yes, sir. The issue we are discussing about politics in Lagos.
Especially the local council polls and the
Yes.
the acrimony that would appear to be surrounding it.
Yes, sir. My doctor friend there has said everything. Let's go back memory lane. We knew what happened when some people years ago, when somebody had to put out from ACN, the AD then, that was Fuchsia Williams. Went to PDP. We knew how that ended. Again, Agbaje came. We knew how he could not be patient to be nominated by these people that have sat down to look at how will things go well, how will this happen, and how will this work. He disagreed. He went also that way. So now people that are disagreeing with what they are saying, I think truly my doctor friend has said it all. They are not members of the party. If they are members of the party, they know that the elders sit down. That is their own way. They sit down to bring out people that will work for them. Like I remember I heard Tinubu said was about Ambode, that he is disappointed with Ambode. That not disappointed that it's not working. That when he was picking him, he was afraid. Can this man really perform? And now this man has performed beyond his expectation. That he's so surprised that the man can perform up to the level he has performed. So all party members just want to appeal to them. This is their party, and this is how they work. Is they pick somebody from this family, go for us, and these people have been working. Let them take it easy and keep Lagos on the firing side, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in, sir. We're talking about this. This is one aspect of the acrimony. The other aspect doesn't concern necessarily APC itself. We'll look at the National Conscience Party, for instance. Okay. Its beef is that it wasn't going to pay the administrative charges, fees. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand that because, look, what, 100,000 naira for the chairman, vice chairman, 75,000 naira, ordinary council member, 50,000 naira. You would have thought that ordinarily this is chicken change to politicians or a political system. But
you see, Uncle Yori, we don't have to wait for election approaching before we make our views known. The National Conscience Party could have approached LASIEC before now, could have approached the Lagos State House of Assembly before now, could have made its position known before now concerning nomination fee. We have a history.
Although it's not now.
We have a history.
For instance, the commission actually backed down and reduced it.
I'll tell you the breakdown.
Okay.
In the course of my...
Yes.
Now, you see, we
sorry,
have...
Sir, let me just bring in Kunle's comment so that, because I want to listen to this explanation. Good morning, Mr. Kunle.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead with the comment, please.
Kunle calling from Surrey.
Sure, please go ahead.
Please, I want to contribute to the program. I've listened to you, Uncle Yori. I always listen to you every morning. And I want to say a big thank you to your guest today. Please, I quickly want to say this. Tinubu has been a blessing to us in this country. And then I must say, every bad thing, people always want to say, Tinubu is the cause of this problem, Tinubu is the cause of that problem. But it has proven that he has done so many great things. But if I'm to look back to Surulere, we have so many wrong things going on there. But people will keep saying it's Tinubu. Even the leaders at the national level and the state level are not closer to the local government to see what is going on there. We have 9 wards in Surulere. Out of the 9 wards, somebody picked the whole 9 councillors. Even the former deputy speaker of the party didn't have 1 councillor. The present state of assembly member, Honorable Desmond, does not have 1 councillor out of the 9 councillors. And they are lying to the old state that they have, we've done the primary, they've done this, they've done that, because we don't have access to Tinubu. You know, he's the only person. I'm talking of person of Honorable Femi Agbajabiamila. He has the whole 9 councillors. And that's why we are having problems in Surulere. You see people killing themselves, fighting, but it's not clear to the state and national party. Just last week or thereabout, TBT had his meeting where he donated 4 cars to the people of Surulere. They never told us where that meeting was held. It was held in an army barrack, not in the community, not where people will agitate. It was held at a party barrack. and the people were invited by text messages. So, but when I saw it on your TV, I just saw when he said, "This is my dividend of democracy to my people. I'm giving out this, I'm giving out that. I've been doing this," but he's having problems. So please, if you are addressing issues that has to do with the party should look inward. They should look down to the grassroots to clear the issue. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in, Kunle.
Kunle brought in Sulure's peculiarity, and you discovered that it's about lack of consultation at the local level, lack of consultation, adequate consultation at the local level, the involvement of the stakeholder. You will see from his analysis, he agrees with us that it's usually the stakeholders of the party that decide who gets what. But here, from his own view, because we've not had the other view, it was handled by just one stakeholder, while other stakeholders were not involved. And that's he didn't disagree with the issue that stakeholders take decision. No. But his disagreement is that it's a lack of involvement of other stakeholders.
Lack of consultation.
Lack of consultation by a leader of the party in that local government, which agrees our position that it is the culture of the party that agree with that. Now, before Kunle called in, we are talking about the fees.
Yes.
Now, if you look at the culture of our democratic experience, paying nomination fee is part and parcel of our experience. You can't become a governor without paying a nomination fee. You can't become a president. You can't become a House of Assembly member. So why should the local government be an exception? If we want to change that, because I also am against nomination fee. That's my position. However, if you want to change, but we have a culture in Nigeria. If we want to change that, all we need to do is to approach the National Assembly to pass a law that
there's a process.
Exactly.
There's a due process for it.
INEC and other electoral bodies from collecting a nomination fee from candidates, because once the candidates...
And this is not the time.
This is not the time.
Everything has its time.
Everything has its time.
Let me bring in someone who's been holding on, and I apologize. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief Yori.
Yeah, thank you for calling in, Yakub.
Then good morning to your guest.
Good morning, Yakub.
Chief Yori, let me just start from where your guest talked. You see, until we amend our constitution, a situation whereby INEC, as your guest said, being in position to collect the fee from the candidates. Are you getting it, sir?
Yeah.
See, because all these candidates, when they are fighting for a position, either it's as a councillor or as a chairman or whatever, the money that the political party are collected from them are too much. That is why a situation whereby they finally got to the position, what they are always looking for is the first to return the money they paid into their different pockets. And then, I would say that, Chief Yori, the political party has got to say, when they are going for the primary election, Chief Yori, you need to know what is going here in the grassroots.
Yeah. Welcome back, and we're looking at the countdown to the local council polls in Lagos. Well, the commission has said that everything, we're in top gear, trained our people, we are just prepared, but it now remains for the environment, the political space, to be a lot less charged than it actually is. So much so that, according to newspaper reports, this morning, the chairman of LASIEC, will be engaging with all those concerned, and they'll be signing a memorandum of understanding to just keep the peace and let it all go smoothly. That in itself is worrying, that LASIEC, newspaper reports also say to us that they've contacted the appropriate members of the security officials to just be around to just make sure that nothing goes wrong. So it looks to me like, because of the things we've been talking about, there are apprehensions that if not properly managed, we don't want,
That's where state institution comes into play. That's where the Attorney General of the state, the Commissioner for Justice, he has a role to play. That's where his role comes into focus. That's his core responsibility, to harmonize the legal system and whatever litigation that to settle the issue. That's the role of the Attorney General. And you see, sometimes when things go wrong, We don't put people on the hot seat.
Okay. You know, it's something you said about Eli Jide, that, look, this is the system in APC. Let's go back to the primaries. Yeah. You know, at the very, very primaries, LASIEC would have had to supervise, right? They have to be an observer.
Observer. They have to
not supervision. To
observe the process.
And the reason for that, no doubt, is to make sure that everything is going according to the book.
Exactly.
Now, would LASIEC have had to understand the point that you have made about the different setups in different homes, and this is the way it is in for instance, APC?
No, it is party by the constitution. It is the party. When I mean the party, the structure, the state establishment of the party that nominates candidate. The candidates will be nominated, validly nominated candidates, through a letter that is sent to LASIEC, and LASIEC will give the form to the party, and the party will distribute to their candidates. So LASIEC can only observe.
Yes.
Can only observe.
Okay. And everything is done, it is the party that does everything.
Exactly.
Okay, in the absence of independent candidates. A comrade from Arochukwu, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Yuri.
Thank you for calling in, comrade.
Good morning, our guest.
Yeah.
You see, Mr. Yuri, Nigeria should stop this issue of using court to thwart the choice of majority people. See, people have been complaining about transitional government in different states. Now, Lagos State has come to organize the local government election, and people are trying to go to court to cause confusion. No way for such action. You see, people should go out on Saturday and vote and be voted for. You see, we have discovered that local government election in Nigeria is for sale. What do I mean by local government for election is for sale, local government? Because people go out there, you come and take your money and invest. When you enter the office, whether the chairman or a local councillor, you start recouping through different means. At the end of the day, the dividends of democracy have not been delivered to the top tier. So what I'm saying in Nigeria now, if somebody gives you money, collect and put, or just say bye-bye. But when you go there, vote out for candidates of your own choice. That is how we can deliver from local. You saw what somebody was complaining about the true leader. Now, true leader, at least what they are talking about, I'm not interested about that, but the thing is that we have come to say in the country like ours that we should stop this issue of sentiment. I don't know why political parties should be going to court to stop elections. Like what the guy said that in UK, if you like, whether it's US, go and bring people. Nobody is interested. Election have been fixed. That day have been fixed. People should go out and vote. After the election, now let us come back to the drawing board and go back to the judiciary and see whether it's crack or high. That's very much of a President Day in Lagos.
Thank you, comrade.
You see what comrade said? There's no pronouncement of a judge that can invalidate a date that has been set by the Constitution. Any judgment that stops an election is unconstitutional because power has been vested in LASIEC, power has been vested in INEC, and LASIEC made a pronouncement that election is holding. So for any judge, that's why I said the Attorney General has a role to play. For any judge to say something to the contrary, it's unconstitutional. And we must establish this, because when people are not satisfied with the process, the next thing they do is to approach court. The next thing they do is to approach court. The next thing to do is to approach the court.
Okay. Mark in Ekpe, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Good morning.
Go ahead, please. Good morning. Okay, we lost that. But as LASIEC has said, these court actions will not stop the election. Should not, and definitely will not, because that pronouncement has been made. But examining the situation in Odiolowo, for instance, we heard about the Surulere challenge, let me not call it a crisis. The Odiolowo one, however, because of the nature of the caliber of people that somehow have been dragged into it, what do you think there? We're talking about the National Legal Advisor trying to clear his name, the chairman of the party in Lagos State.
2 ways for LASIEC. 1, not to conduct election in Odiolowo. 1, not to conduct election in Odiolowo. 2, to conduct the election and ask anybody that has any issue to approach the court to determine the outcome of that election. Those are the 2 options before LASIEC, from my own understanding. Not to conduct the election in that enclave, or conduct the election. In actual sense, the first should be conduct the election. Anyone that has any issue with the process, we've seen cases now in Taraba State. Someone won the senatorial election It was given to another person. I think Taraba South. He went to the Senate, and the Supreme Court ruled that the seat does not belong to him, that the seat should be given, and he should pay. They gave him 90 days to pay all the money he has collected, which was a landmark judgment.
Yes,
so,
yes.
in fact, they should conduct the election. It's only one option. Conduct the election. Anyone that is not satisfied, let him approach the court and let the court determine.
Okay, Mr. Adegboyega in Alagbado, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gary.
Thank you for calling in.
Please, I just want to sound the note of to sensitize some people, please. There are differences between people that are being nominated by the stakeholders and people that are, this is my party thing within a particular local government or an LCDA. I want them to sensitize our guys, our youth, most especially, before it comes to court matters. A lot of lives are being lost in the process of elections, process of campaigns, process of rallies. Now, people can't differentiate between the person being nominated by the stakeholder of the party based on the modus operandi of the party, and someone that I know that this is my guy, we drink together, and he's also contesting for the same post and office that same person is contesting for. So when it's now, if you check the street around, we see a lot of posters. The same LCDA, 3 different candidates, and one is yet to step down for the other, believing that we are still in the same APC, we are still in the same AD, and at the end of the day, when they now vote APC, the stakeholder will now be, they have the person they already sent the name to LASIEC, and this is our nominated candidate. Then the others, the normal average guys, they don't have the understanding of this. They just believe they are being cheated, or this is the person we want, not knowing that there's someone on ground already been taken and chosen by the party. Please help us sensitize our guys to just stop killing themselves for nothing. Because they will kill themselves, they will injure themselves before the election. At the end of the day, they will take the matters to court, which is not supposed to go to court at all. Because things have already been resolved right now before it comes to court issues. So before elections, they should make sure they have the proper understanding of this is how things work, this is how things are done, so that they won't just waste their lives. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
To respond to what he has said,
sure.
There's nothing stopping INEC on its website, LASIEC website, for them to publish all the candidates.
Which has been done, actually.
So that these are the validly nominated.
In fact, they thronged its premises where everybody went to find out.
Validly nominated. It's not. You see, like my Oga would say, you can't over-communicate. We must deploy technology. Not everybody can come to LASIEC office in Yaba or wherever it is. Or, but everybody could access the internet on their smartphone. Let's use whatever means to let them know that these are the validly nominated, because like he said, there are a lot of lies that are being bandied around. Don't worry, go and put your poster. Don't mind that guy, it's not the one contesting. You'll be the one that will be there. We are the one that decide. And people use that to make people. And I think it's because he says something. And I think that the representative of the leadership of the party at the local government level, at the various levels, need to operate in the mindset with which the national leader of the party operates. It's very, very important in the way things are done. Because, you know, one of our callers spoke about how the process of picking governors in Lagos State has been, and how it has outperformed the expectations of the leader.
And how the candidate in the past, you know,
they've
always been dark horses. They've always been dark horses that nobody really knew
them.
You know,
and then there is acrimony,
a lot of acrimony,
and then you know everybody will close ranks, and by the time the governors emerges, and then they will say, oh, this is a better candidate than me. And as so it's an advice for the leaders at the local level, not to collect money, because it's important. You see, some of the things that create crises. Leaders at the local government level will collect money from A, collect money from B, collect money from C, make promises and whatever. Rather than be the father of all, they will be making them. And in the process, because people have paid money, it creates crisis.
A bit like an estate agent taking rent from about 6 different people. And then, I have waiting now Dayo from Amu Wardorfin. Good morning, sir. Well, I lost Dayo in Amu Wardorfin, but you can see that we wanted to take you. The party also has a role, or do you think, because this whole matter about sensitization, in addition to LASIEC having displayed the list, you said, yeah, it could have also done it differently, but it has displayed the list. We understand that they were thronged. Everybody wanted to see who exactly, you know, had scaled through. But the party itself probably has a bit more work to do in this regard. On Saturday in Lagos, people are doing what they are doing. I saw parades, you know, all over the place. But this whole matter about which is the genuine, which is the genuine candidate of the party. I think last week on the program, somebody observed that for the same position, same post, there were of APC in a particular locale, there were 2 posters, both of them claiming the same constituency. So those are the kind of things that need to be sorted out. And those, no doubt, must be some of the reasons why this morning they all have to sign a memorandum of understanding that we shall not do anything to rock the system.
Now, we don't vote for candidates by electoral process, we vote for party. You know, the parties are represented by their icon. Now, it is the party that determines who gets the ticket. Now, with INEC has the actual representative of the party. As the actual representative of the party. So if there are 10 or 5, 7 posters,
yes,
the validly nominated, that's why you see the word validly nominated. Validly nominated candidate. That's the way it's written. Validly nominated candidate. It is the validly nominated candidate that becomes
that is relevant,
that becomes relevant. You see, it's one of the issues we spoke about the parties, about the leaders at the local level. Those ones that are pasting posters must have received assurances, yes, from some leaders.
Okay. Mr. Motosho in Yaba, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
The discussion today is very timely, like always.
Thank you, sir.
Nigeria is practicing democracy through party system. But in the parties, there are no democracy being practiced. There is the principle of imposition. When the party rolled out its program that local government elections was to be held in this year in Lagos, many people in the APC came out, ditto other parties, but especially in the APC. Along the line, we later heard that orders from the above says those that were in there before that had done the first term in office should continue. For example, in Onibongo local government, SCDA, I'm not going to vote on Saturday. I'm a registered voter. Why? The man that was there in his first term, to me, did not perform creditably well the way I expected. And I thought probably, and ditto many people that I discussed with, if there had been primary election, I'm quite convinced this man would not have won the primary in the APC. But when the order came, they all subsumed to that order, that those that have done the first term in office should be allowed to do the second term. And you will see them writing continuity and all sorts of appellations and all whatnot. However, I will commend Lagos State, because when you see other states, they are not doing the way they're supposed to do. In Oyo State, no local. I'm from Oyo State.
Okay.
For 8 years, no local government election.
Yeah.
It is in position. Ditto some other states that have never conducted local government election. To that extent, Lagos should be given a credit. But we implore that let the party imbibe the culture of democracy.
Okay, internal democracy.
And so that there won't be imposition.
Okay.
APC is noted for imposition. It's not good. It creates chaos.
All right, Mr. Motosho, thank you very much for calling in.
I think
we've explained this.
Exactly.
You've explained
process.
That look,
in terms of
if you want to call it super delegate, if you want to call it delegates, this is the sort of indirect way.
The culture.
And the culture of the party.
If you are not satisfied.
But the ideal that other people
there's
are
no ideal anyway. It's a learning process. You see, Uncle Yori, there's no ideal.
I know.
There's no ideal.
I'm just saying that, for instance,
in his closing remark, he said that we should commend Lagos State. Because I said in my 4 years. Now, if we have this local government structure by the new law for 4 years, in 4 years' time, there will be an improvement to what we have now. Because it will be evidently clear that if this candidate did not perform, and the party imposed the candidate, the people will decide that we don't want this, we want this, and the party will learn from it. The party will learn. So it's a process, because we can't have a perfect structure and a perfect system now.
Okay. Mr. Mark is calling in from Ekwe, I believe. Good morning, sir. Mark in Ekwe, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Okay. Please go ahead now.
I would like to commend Mr. Jide, for Dr. Jide, for his comments on our party.
Sure.
So I also want to disagree with him to a certain length.
Sure.
Please do.
Democracy is supposed to be practiced in the party too. This will reduce the rancor that usually comes up after primary elections.
Okay, is that your point? Thank you very much.
Secondly, hello.
Oh, okay. Quickly, please, quickly.
I think there should be independent candidacy. This will give people room to come out even after the party closes the door against them. Because if people see that as an alternative, let's see if we can get credible people who maybe due to party structure are not able to win, can come out, canvass votes directly, and see if they can win.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for calling in again after somehow we lost the call.
You see, Uncle Yori, the beauty of local government election is about your popularity in your locality and in your neighborhood. If you are denied in a platform, there are many platforms you could identify with, and you go there. If you are popular, you contest, you win the election. And then you let the leaders know that, you know what, I was denied this opportunity, but I'm popular than the candidate you pick. Now I've won. Now you know that we have strength in this local government. So that's the beauty of local government. That's the beauty of local government election.
Okay. Let's hear it from Mr. Olontoba in Yaba. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
And good morning to Mr. Dr. Johnson.
Sure.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm from Yaba local government.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm from Yaba FCDA, mainland local government. The issue of a primary or the issue of imposition kills our democracy. For example, now in Yaba FCDA, single individual, pick the chairman, vice chairman, and all 9 councillors. It is not done anywhere in the world. Why the constitution of the APC, Article 20, talks about how the candidate should be matched. Secondly, even if you want to have consensus, it should be agreed between the stakeholders and the leaders of the party, not by individuals. The reason why we are saying this is because we all love APC. And the problem that happened in 2015, why the PDP failed in 2015 is because of a lack of internal democracy. And if we are doing it before, things have changed. We are the ones that preach change. So we think we should follow the change that we preach. I don't think even all this we are saying that the leadership of the party, especially the national leader, know about. People are just dropping in. And all these former council chairmen, who they are telling in a clique and pick all the candidates. Let me give you one example. Even our governor, Akin Nyambodi, he marched through primary. Even our president, President Buhari, he marched through primary. Why can't we allow all these chairmen and councillors to march through primary too? So that people, the problem we are having here and there will not happen. If you know that you are capable, if you know you are capable and you can face the primary, come to the primary. Let people decide, not by individuals, not by one person that will decide for the whole local government. The problem we are hearing today, yes, let us even agree that this local government election is going to be, because by the section 197, give government power to appoint state electoral commission. if the election is not even go the way we feel. The 2019 is nearby. Are we going to buy car reader? Are we going to impose the candidates in 2019?
Mr. Lontoba, Mr. Lontoba,
Yes,
what would be your comments to the observation by Dr. Johnson that, look, there is a way things are done in APC, and if you're a member of APC, it won't be alien to you. And so he was expressing surprise that you people are now expressing surprise at the way things are done in APC.
If I get your question right, hello?
Yes, sir. That is the house style. Every party, every party has its own difference, and that this is the aspect of APC that's the way
progressive ideology.
And
from Baba Olowo.
It's in consonance with the so-called.
Let me give. Yes, I agree. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I agree with you that every party has its own style, but we have to change with the reality on ground. The style we have been doing. Let me tell you, there is no primary that make former governor of Lagos State to imagine Fashola. But in 2015, people decided that Ambode should face primary. Governor Ambode should face primary, and he won. Because the things have changed. The idea that you used in 1999 cannot work in 2017 again. People, we have a pocket journalist now. With your phone on hand, you are able to get the information that you wanted to get. And people will post anything they like. People have more awareness. You cannot believe that. With the money that PDP has in 2015, the kind of money they are pulling around, and they lost the election because people decide. People are more awareness of before than before now.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this: the constitution of the party talks about the primary, not imposition. Imposition is a word from the military to impose candidates on the people. And if you are saying that democracy is for the people and by the people, let the people decide. There is nothing wrong for the leader to endorse.
Okay.
Leaders can endorse the candidate.
Yes.
This is our candidate.
Can I ask?
And you allow people to decide.
Okay, Mr. Lontoba, I got to let go of you now, but thank you very, very much for your call. It has really explained your perspective. You wanted to ask something.
Yeah, you said there is a particular leader in their local.
Okay.
Who elected the leader? How did the leader emerge?
Exactly.
Because in every local government, in every ward, to my knowledge and to my understanding, there are leaders.
Yes.
Of the party.
Exactly.
They are stakeholders. And you know, earlier on I advised that the leaders at the local government level should be the father of all, should not collect money from candidates.
Yes.
Should let the candidates know about...
It should be above board.
Above board.
As much as they can be.
It is because people have invested money. That's where you have this acrimony. People have invested a lot of money, and the leaders are not helping their party by collecting money before the primaries.
The bottom line is that LASIEC has said that the elections will hold on the 22nd.
Should.
And as you say, should. And so will hold. This morning, all stakeholders are signing a memorandum of understanding that they should let peace prevail. And hopefully all of these efforts will indeed lead to a smooth 22nd.
And the Attorney General needs to get involved.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Jide Johnson, Deputy Provost, Nigeria Institute of Journalism, as always, a friend of the house. Thank you very much. I am Iyori Folare. Bye-bye for now.